What is going on, lunatics? Happy Monday. I still don't have air conditioning, so it's still a hot one here in Chicago, but we're supposed to be here today to fix it, and then we'll put some clothes back on. So today we're going to talk about what the price is doing, what's going on. We're going to try to keep it civil here and by the way, some of the validators for some reason might be watching me today, so I'm going to use tiny words, no more than 2 syllables, because some of those lunkheads, you know. Let's go. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. TerraCasino.io for all your risk-based gaming needs. Terraport.finance for all of your meme coins and utility coins in the Terra Classic ecosystem. Also, I should tell you that there is some fracturing right now among some of these validators and some of these token creators and coin creators, and they're starting to go at one another in some private chats. So I think that's actually a good thing, because lively debate and arguing amongst themselves is how they get through situations and move on and draw chords up and then start to build in the ecosystem. So as we watch everything start to, argue amongst themselves, as we see all of that happen, then, we grow back stronger, rip the Band-Aid off, whatever it is, and we'll get stronger. Terraport still leading the charge in dexes over the weekend, though. You don't have a lot of trade volume, so that number is 10,000 over the last 24 hours, 3,300 for Garuda. TerraSwap, $756. So like see quite a bit more going on here, but hey, as long as my platform is beating the platform that copied me, I'm good. You know what I mean? Meme coins getting a nice lift right now on Terra, by the way. If you haven't seen that, Terra, the Terra coin right now or Terra token right now has been taking off up 63% over the last 7 days. Now let's talk validators. Before we get into validators, let's talk about total stake. Total stake continues to decline, back down to 951 billion, at one point being over $1 trillion again. And that's good. However, it's not great at this point. Like we still got a long way to go before we feel that reversal. By the way, I'm going to show you on the charts, and you get an idea of what's happening right now. I bought more Lunc, by the way. I told you guys I don't really buy. I'm not really an active trader, but I went ahead and took some risk here, and I bought yesterday on the dip. I mean, look, every day is a dip at this point, right? But I think there's a big reversal coming, and I thought maybe there'd be an opportunity right there to make a few bucks. It's a spot bag that I'm just looking to flip. So maybe it does something, maybe it doesn't do anything. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that we're going to get that easy 40x. Rex, but YZ, by the way, put up 50x as his indication of what he thinks is going to happen. Now, let's look at the validators. All nodes still continues to lead the charge. Auto stake dropping down just a little bit, not even close to third place. Now, it'd take a lot to make something like that happen, like maybe a Bleeds validator to make something like that happen. Lunc lives at 35 billion. And these are the guys, by the way, these are the guys that you're giving your power to. These are the guys that lie. Remember, we had one of these guys lying and deceiving you the other day by posting the second vote on one of these things, saying that, well, no, the community didn't vote yet. Well, the community had already voted yes, and they ignored it, and then they pretended. So that's the shady kind of shit that these losers do. So, be very, very careful when you're listening to what it is that they say. Nonetheless, Luna Station pick up a little bit here, moved up a little bit. Greenpeace picked up a little bit, moved up here a little bit. Jesus is Lord starting to fall down. Now remember, at one point, Jesus is Lord was one of the top 5. They were, I think, number 3 and number 5 in the top 5. So we're seeing a little bit of movement around. By the way, if you like what they vote for, then that's who you should validate with. If you don't like, you should validate with somebody else. Pretty simple, right? It's not about Jesus is Lord or Greenpeace or any of these other guys. I think they're good or bad or indifferent. It's a matter of what you think and what you value. Do you value money going up? Then you shouldn't validate with these assholes. If you validate money going up, you should validate with somebody else. You know what I mean? Validate. You should value. Anyway, upgrade to 3.6.0. This is a new release for the Terra client being created on October 2nd. The release notes of the new version can be viewed here at GitHub if you are interested. Technical release notes are over here. This removes the WASM fork to use mainnet WASM version. This proposal seeks validating community approval. You guys will know how this goes as a validator. You'll have a responsibility to do that so that you don't have any downtime. You know what I mean? All right, so price action. Still not getting that breakout, still haven't had that big move, but the market is up another $53 billion today, off of a time when everybody told you that the market was about to dip even more, that we hit 125,690 and that we were going to absolutely crash from there. And by the way, that still could be the case with Bitcoin. I'm not saying that it's not. What I am saying, though, however, is that there is an appetite right now for a bigger move from Bitcoin, and we're seeing it play out real time. Now, most of these chads are trying to give you the, well, it's going to consolidate right here, and it's going to come back down right here. It's going to come down even lower, and it's going to test this. And by the way, that is not an inviolable thesis. When I look at the SMAs, when I look at everything, it tells me that by all rights, we should be looking at, this move is right here. We should be looking at something like this. Like we should be looking at a move down into this range right here. At best, or at worst, I should say, we should be looking at an entry at about 118,000 right now for Bitcoin as a bounce and a reversal. And if you follow my live streams for my trading show, then you'll know that I have a buy order set at 118,000, thinking that that's going to be an amazing opportunity for an entry position, but we're not there yet. We are right now at or near the total market cap all-time high. Okay, yesterday was the highest market cap in the history of crypto. Today, we have an opportunity to capture that and catch it back if Bitcoin continues to rip. And right now, Bitcoin is pumping. In fact, this is a pretty strong day so far. It's also a very strong day for Solana, strong day for Ethereum. Bitcoin dominance, however, is still coming down. So, these altcoins are still having little moments here, not a blow-off moment. We need Bitcoin to absolutely soar for that to truly happen, but we're in a pretty good position now. Where does that leave Terra Luna Classic? Well, it's not moving along with anything else other than the broader market, so it doesn't leave us really anywhere in that regard. What it tells me, we really need to see some movement up above. But by the way, we're either bearish or we're bullish. And when you're underneath the 20 and the 50, or the 20 and the 20 and the 50, I'm sorry, the 50 and the 200 moving average, then you are cooked. I want to say is what we call it. You have to break above. And by the way, it's not about breaking above. It's about motivation. This is a lagging indicator. Okay, so you're not really challenging this paradigm, if you will, in that context. You're looking for motivation. You're looking for investors stepping in. You're looking for a product that people want to be invested in, and you're not seeing that right now. Everything is below, and you've seen it for a long period of time. We've had flirtations with breaking above the 200, but we've never actually broken above the 200 in quite a long time. It's been since January of 2025. So that's been a very bearish narrative. And now the question is, can we get a break above? We get a break above, then we start to look bullish again. And then maybe we get that test right there at 407 one more time, which allows us for a breakout. But we've got to get there first. And it takes a little motivation. And that motivation got to get above the 50 and the 200 MA. Again, this is not because they mean anything. They are just a lagging indicator telling you which direction the market's going, but everything's pointing down. Everything's pointing down. We need to get above so that everything starts pointing up, so that new investors who come in and look at it say, well, actually the RSI looks good. Actually the MAs look good. And they take a risk on it, and then maybe they like what they see. Then they become, some of them, long-term holders. That's how you build. So we'll see what happens. Still no faith in USTC, just not feeling it, not seeing it. I was happy to see this was happening. Remember, we talked about this a long time ago. We're looking for this kind of thing, and we're still, it's still looking okay. But here's what happened. What we did was we were up, and now we're down from here. Now, that is still short-term bearish. Long-term could still potentially be bullish, okay? Now, the reason that I'm telling you that is because this is higher right here and then here. So we're still higher than we were before, which again, that is bullish indicator, but we need to see a big reversal. We need to see a spike. And really, this is coming down to this. Investors are confident when they see a nice big pump. They feel like we're breaking through resistance. We're we wicked up here into 1.9 cents a while back, and guess what? Just wrecked a bunch of sellers, getting them out of the way for the next surge, but we didn't get the next surge that took us up above to where we could get like 2.5 cents, something like that. So until that happens, we're bearish. Burns very, very light over the last couple of days. We had a lot of movement last week that led to 753 million being burned so far in the last 7 days. The big number fell off. It was 1.5 billion. It was a move from one of the market makers, moving from OKX to Binance. So, we'll see what happens here. And by the way, I think it should be noted that despite the fact that a lot of people will tell you, because they think that this is a hook to try to catch you and get you in, that Binance is super supportive of Terra Luna Classic, that Binance is going to lead the revival, that Binance this, Binance that. Binance will dump this thing if they're not making money off of it. If they're losing money, if there's no path forward, they will cease trading. You know what I mean? So we should be watching very closely for what happens at this next little while. Now, it probably won't happen during a bull run or during an altcoin season, if you will. So we probably won't see it then, but we should start to be looking for something like that to happen. I just don't feel it anymore. We're not seeing the volume that we need. We're down to $9 million in volume. We're down to $3 million in volume. How is that sustainable for a market? Now, we look at Binance. They're trading 1.6 million in volume. Remember, it used to be 50 to 100 million. There was a reason that Binance wanted to keep it in there. There was a reason that Binance wanted to continue to do this. And there was a reason. It was money. All money. And now look at that money. $2 million a day, maybe. And remember, you're splitting like 0.01% or whatever the fee is with a burn. So there's no money on the table here for Binance. So you should be alarmed and crossing your fingers. All right. That is just my opinion. I'm not saying that Binance isn't supportive. I'm saying that they're supportive because there's money in it. When there's no money in it, guess what? There's not going to be any interest in it either. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. It's not financial advice. I'll have a shirt on, I think, tomorrow. I'm always right.